this episode of Beer, Blues, and BS, Kidder and I have a very lengthy conversation about music because, hey, a new song dropped and Kidder's super excited about it. We also talk a little bit about wrestling, a little bit about hockey music. All in all, it's a great show and you're in a good place. Welcome to Beer, Blues, and BS.
In a world where every Rob, Steve, and Lane has a podcast, two good brothers will try to rise above the rest. Howard Blues and the Mark Kidder invite you to pour a cold beverage, pull up a seat, and enjoy time with friends. Welcome to Beer, Blues, and BS.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Beer, Blues, and BS, the podcast that YouTube calls when it needs something to fill the 9:30 to 11:30 time slot. I'm your host, Howard Blues, here, as always, with my co-host, the man, the myth, the legend, the Mark Kidder. Kidder, how you doing tonight?
Well, now I'm wondering if my phone is charged or if it has service because I'm still waiting to get that call. So apparently we're just not needed or something. I'm a little tired, Jaco. I'm a little tired. To coin a phrase, it's been a week.
You can't coin that phrase. Somebody else has already coined that phrase.
Well, that was a question. It's not a statement. That was a question. Because I had the increase in tone at the end of it, as though I'm asking a question. So, yeah, I believe yours is more of a statement, has a period at the end.
You know, this is one that we're definitely going to have the courts solve. So I'll have my lawyer call your lawyer, and you know, in 5 to 10 years, we'll probably get a settlement on it.
Settlement, yeah. Settlement. Great. Well, I'd ask you how you're doing, but we don't need to settle that either. So how about we just go right into this thing? Let's get on with the show with merch. 20% off all the Triple B merch. BeerBluesBS.com. 20%. Look at this right at the bottom of your screen. The code Howard. He's giving you more holiday cheer than you know what to deal with. It's all at BeerBluesBS.com. Click on merch. Pick out all kinds of items in there. Great quality things. You know, like a pint glass, perhaps. You want a BeerBluesBS.com Beer Blues BS logo right there on your pint glass. You can do that for 20% off. Or perhaps, as I mentioned before, you'd like a Triple B sticker to stick where you'd like to stick it. Stick it to us. BeerBluesBS.com. Click on merch. Or perhaps you would like a metal sign. Look at this. High quality Beer Blues MVS logo right there. Howard's in shock right now. He just can't believe it. This is what the back looks like too. So you can hang it. Comes with the material to hang it wherever you would like to hang it on your wall. And I mean, look at that. It's nice shiny quality. You can see the Triple B set right there, all shiny and everything. Mm-hmm. So, BeerBluesBS.com, 20% off. Thanks to keyword Howard.
Note to self, future self, make lower third that has code on it, because we haven't done that for the last 10 episodes where we've been offering this, and now I have to do it because somebody called it out.
Oh, maybe somebody didn't look in the graphics folder.
Somebody didn't tell somebody that they updated the graphics folder. I've been busy, man. You can't just put stuff in there and expect me to find it.
Oh, I thought the clue was use this keyword.
I've just been like, you know what? Everybody knows how to spell Howard. It's not like we, put some crazy hidden letter in there to make it difficult. So I was like, oh, everybody's going to see that it's Howard or know how to spell Howard.
It's H as in Howard, O with an umlaut, W, 3 No, don't spell it that way because you won't get the code. It'll tell you invalid if you try and put that in. So for you audio listeners, that of course is HOWARD, Howard, 20% off bluesbs.com.
I just had to work in some banter there, Kidder. You know, we've been a little low on the banter.
Oh,
had to boost our banter numbers.
Gotcha. 20% fee for banter. Something like that.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Or you just wanted to make the show go off the rails. Not even 3 minutes in. Sweet.
Maybe. Possibly. I could be an agent of chaos. You don't know.
Le Saboteur. Good game, by the way, back in the day in the old Xbox 360.
It was. I'd never played enough of it, though. Should have played more.
Never was able to finish it. And that was my issue with it. I wanted to finish it, and I had the, when you used to be able to get the game guides instead of look on the internet to have all of your answers searched for you, basically. So yeah, it's over on the shelf, but have not made it to getting over there. Finish it. Other things going on. So, what's on tap over there, Howie Blues? Let's get to things.
Yeah, let's get to drinking because it's been a week, Kidder, and it's been a day even, and I could use a drink. When I need a drink after a long, hard week, I turn to Red Lodge Ale's Two-Toed Tropical IPA. Mostly for the look on Kidder's face. Yep, it's an IPA. The flavor profile says that it is juicy and hazy. The color is golden. The IBU is 50. The alcohol per volume is 6%. The awesomeness is 100. Don't hurry, be hoppy. So that's what we got on the label. Give it a ooh yeah, there's some hops in there. So let's hop right to it and give it a taste. Well, it's got a juicy taste, but not a super strong juicy taste. I mean, I'm definitely getting the hops. That's for sure. But like the juiciness part of this, I would say, is kind of lacking in I know I'm not a big fan of fruit in beer, but I could use a little bit more fruit in this beer. Like, it's supposed to be a tropical IPA. I'm not getting the tropical notes, Kidder. I'm not there's not pineapple or guava or any of the other tropical flavors you'd expect in something like this. It's just, or at least if it is, it's really weak. It's all right. It's all right. Not my fave. I'll get through it. And then I'll probably drink a sour. Or will I? Stick around for what's on tap. Round 2. The sequel. Kidder!
And if he actually knows what he's doing.
Maybe.
Banter.
Kidder! What you gonna pull out of that lovely Triple B beer fridge you got sitting there,
Well, it is about that time of the year. What time of the year? Cold, dark, and depressing. So let's make it a little bit better with something cold and dark, but antidepressing. How's that? That sound good?
Are you drinking liquid Zoloft? Is that what's going on here? I'm a little worried.
I can neither confirm nor deny these nor any other allegations at this time as to what the local geek may have placed inside this beverage.
Oh boy.
And that is a Kettle House Brewing Company Cold Smoke right there. The Scottish Ale, a 6.5% alcohol by volume, a 1 whole pint, 16 whole ounces in there, which, you know what? Look at that. It fits into the triple B pint glass. Yeah. Anyway, this is smooth, roasty, and has a robust finish. Light, bottomless powder craved by skiers and boarders. So, Howard Blues, I did not know that you fit into either of those categories. But brewed and canned in Kettle House Brewing Company there in Banter, Montana. And pretty much a Montana exclusive. The contents, beer. And yes, we've had it on the show before, but you know, it's always nice to take a look at the can. I think even since the last time I had one of these, the can design changed. But I could be wrong, and it could just have been that long of a period of time since the last time I had one. Especially on this show. So thanks, Local Geek. Appreciate the What's on Tap. That's nice. Also, by the way, you can buy us a beer at beerbluesbs.com. Click buy us a beer, and then leave us a comment. When you buy us a beer, we can read it out on the show here. In the video version, we'll even post it right there. And just continue on with our stuff and our fun. So, as they say, get on with it. Howard Blues, what are you doing over there?
You know, Kidder, I'm just working on a model. And I'll talk a little bit more about it in a bit. But yeah. New project for reasons, and as I said, I'll talk about it in a bit.
All right, reasons. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Good.
So,
well, I have some exciting news.
It can't be that exciting. I mean, really, how exciting could it be, Kidder? It's not like Metallica's going on tour and that they have new music or anything fun like that. Nah, it can't be anything exciting.
Oh, yeah! That's right. Howie Blues getting the thunder a little bit there. Metallica! New album, yeah! Called 72 Seasons, yeah! That's right, Lars, yeah! James, yeah! Robert, yeah! Kirk, yeah! They're going on out on a tour there. They got the whole new album. Like I said, 72 Seasons comes out April 14th in the 2023 era. Yes, a few months away, but worth the wait. And they surprised everybody with the brand new single Lux Æterna this week. And I lost my damn mind. It was good. And yes, that's not all, folks. As Howard Blues alluded to, Metallica announced the M72 World Tour spanning 2 years. Yes, this thing's scheduled through 2024. They are coming to Minneapolis in August of 2024. Tickets on sale now if you can get them. I got tickets, Howard.
I knew that, but I didn't want to steal all the thunder. I mean, I stole some of your thunder. But I didn't want to steal all of it.
It's good because then I would make you ride the lightning.
Yeah.
It's sad but true.
I two things, Kidder. First, about that, I do have to ask a question.
Yeah.
I do have to ask a question because Kidder, not only did you get tickets, but here's the thing. And here's what I want to know. Because one of the tour stops is Minneapolis, but you did not get tickets to the Minneapolis shows.
Hell no.
You went for the Phoenix shows. And so I got to ask, Kidder, why Phoenix? Why Phoenix over Minneapolis? What? Because if you went to Minneapolis, I know a certain weatherman in Fargo who probably would go with you and be an awesome rockin' time. And I get that. You might even get like the Rudeboy Kyle driving up and joining you. I mean, that could be a big party sort of thing. But you went Phoenix, man. What's the thought pattern here? What's the?
Well, I love Phoenix. Plus, it'll be like it's in September, so here it has the potential to be 40 degrees or 80 degrees, and hopefully down in Phoenix it'll be like 90. I love that. So we'll see. The second thing, I've already seen Metallica at US Bank Stadium. Metallica, I say that they opened the arena. They christened it, being the first actual concert, because the country concert the night before just isn't actually a concert. Let's be completely honest. You can't shake the dust off the rafters and make sure that the damn thing is solidified in the ground with some weak ass hibbity bibbity country. So, since I've already been to US Bank Stadium, how about see a concert, the first concert I have ever seen in Phoenix? Why not? And this will be the third visit to Phoenix, and I'm looking forward to it. Not sure what hotel to stay at yet. Looked at some prices, both for airfare and hotels, and it's kind of up in the air yet. So we'll see what happens, what hotel gets chosen as the Triple B remote studio. Also, their Howard Blues, keep in mind, the first show's on Friday and the second show is on Sunday. Yes, there are 2 shows in each venue, and each show will be completely unique. It's a no repeat weekend. On top of that, there's 2 opening bands before each of the shows, and all 4 will be different, as in 2 for one night and the other 2 for the other night. And who are they? Well, the first night, the band opens with, the first band is Mammoth, which is I'm trying to remember, is that Wolfgang Van Halen? It's Eddie Van Halen's son. And then Pantera, followed by the mighty Metallica. That's night 1. Night 2, which is technically 2 days later as well, that opens with Ice Nine Kills and Five Finger Death Punch, who I've seen almost as many times as I've seen Metallica. Not because I'm a super Five Finger Death Punch fan. It's because Five Finger Death Punch has been at that many different shows that I've wanted to go to with the other bands involved, / I've had tickets from like the radio station and that sort of thing. So, it's not even close. I've seen Metallica way more times than I've seen Five Finger Death Punch. Anyway, looking forward to it. Very excited. It's, doing the math, it's December, and that is in this upcoming September. So, we're still a good 9-10 months out. 10, because it would be about now. So there's that. Excited for it. The wallet, not excited. Howard, what do you 5?
Oh well, I know where you were going, Kidder, but I've been meaning to ask this question, but I didn't want to interrupt. Manners, politeness. But I was going to ask you, Kidder, because I saw when you posted that you were going quite a few comments on this, so we might as well address it here on the show. But Kidder, how was buying those tickets? Because that's question A. Because there's been some fiasco with ticket buying for other concerts lately. So how was the purchasing of the tickets, and also how's your wallet doing? Is it on life support? Should we send get well soon cards?
I mean, the best way to help support my wallet and this show would be to sponsor the show, like buy us, a beer or 50 cases. Just please. You can sponsor a broke podcast host for like $1 a day. Please, just buy us a beer. So to give you an idea, Howard Blues, if you wanted to go to the show, the ticket range for you would be, and this is at the State Farm Stadium in Phoenix, which is where the Arizona Cardinals play. So large stadium, looking forward to it. Lots of seats. The upper deck nosebleed seats. The ticket price, $100. Now, this is for the 2-day price. So technically, you get 2 shows for $100. So $50 a ticket. I think that's pretty good, considering a lot of shows in Las Vegas where you go for 3 hours of entertainment are between $100 and $300 for bad to okay seats. Okay. Now, here's what pisses me off: the fees. We're getting outrageous, and if I back up just a second, this through the State Farm Stadium is not through Ticketmaster. And as you mentioned, there's been some controversy and problem with Ticketmaster, and having used Ticketmaster for many events, they are stupid to deal with. Now, if you go to a Ticketmaster outlet like the Bismarck Event Center and purchase your tickets there, there's no fees. You just pay the tax on it. But you have to go to the box office when they're open. You have to buy the ticket there, hope that there's one available. So again, kind of a fiasco. This system at, again, State Farm Stadium is through SeatGeek. So this is my first interaction with SeatGeek. US Bank Stadium was using Ticketmaster. So there is that. Now, again, these prices are through State Farm Stadium, and the price varies between venue. So I don't have all of the numbers between, what venue and how much. But again, the low end, $100 plus $40 in fees. So your ticket, $140. And if I remember right, no, I don't. No, never mind. The taxes are included in the fees. Okay. So that being the low end, you go up to the high end of the packages that are available. This is called the Lux Æterna Platform Experience. This is for 8 people. You get a raised platform, a limited edition item, a cooler with beer in it for you and 7 friends, or perhaps 7 sugar daddies. How much do you believe that is, Howard? I don't know if you looked at the spoiler, but
I did, but I don't remember. So Kidder, I'm gonna say about 350.
like 350,000. That's a little high. $7,272 for that platform experience. And I don't know how much the fees were, but for the $1,000 package, it was $131 for fees. And so I would assume that it would be around $1,000 for fees. So $8,000 for you and 7 friends to have a raised platform that is no more than 72 feet from the stage, plus an exclusive Metallica item and the specific service for your, platform, and the case of beer, or I don't know if it's a case, but it's a cooler of beer, and et cetera, et cetera. So the info for all of the packages is at wearesuper.co/Metallica. I went with the lowest of the VIP packages, which ended up being $598 per ticket, plus $110 in fees per ticket. Now, that's the same feeling I had as I slowly opened my wallet in preparation to pay, and the card. I'm sorry, little guy. This one's gonna be heavy. I'm really sorry about this. And of course my card's like, what are you doing? And then it like half melted. But it's a few different things. One, it's on the floor. Number two, you get an exclusive Metallica item for this package. Number three, you get early entrance to the venue. Number four, a priority line for the merch table and for the drinks, apparently. And you also get one free beverage, basically one beer, before doors open. So I'm like, all right. The next package up was $698, and that was for a seat in the first two, or no, in it wasn't. That was the package above that. So this package is in the seated section, the closest to the floor, and you get all of that except the free beer. So I'm like, $100 less, and you get a free beer? Sure, that sounds good to me. And I mean, it's a year, not a year out. It's 9 months out, so 10 months. So I'll hopefully win the lottery between now and then.
Yeah.
Or if there's somebody watching or listening to this and they want to help the Get Kidder to Phoenix Fund, just contact us, buy us a bunch of beer. It's all at beerbluesbs.com. Click buy us a beer, please. And thank you. Thank you in advance. The song's awesome too.
I was going to say, this might surprise you. I actually watched the music video and took in the track, which is, Kidder is actually amazed because he knows I'm not like a huge Metallica fan. So the odds of me actually like checking it out when he posted it was pretty slim. But no, I checked it out. And it is a really good track. So I'm waiting for this album to drop, Kidder, because I I've been trying to, since I've been doing more of the hockey announcing, I've been trying to replace a lot of the 80s rock that the full-time DJ has used for years and trying to modernize it.
Yeah.
And I think, Kidder, this track, in my mind, what I'm going to do, and I know this is going to sound like sacrilege, because for years now, Bismarck High's opening warm-up song has been Enter Sandman, but I think I'm going to replace it with Lux Æterna. I like the song. I think it would be an excellent, like, out the gate, let's go song.
Mm-hmm.
So it's my plan. I'm planning as soon as it's available for me to download and file, I'm going to get it.
Oh,
and,
it's on Spotify. it's already out in the world.
Well,
and I gotta, maybe there's a way that you can get it to where you can use it. But I also have to say, brother Nico and Rudeboy Kyle, I shared it with them as I shared it with you because, lost my damn mind that day. But Nico kind of brought up an interesting point that he felt it sounds like if Fuel were made on Death Magnetic or even Hardwired, the last two actual Metallica albums. What do you think about that, Howard?
Yeah, okay. So I remember when I said Howard is not as big of a Metallica fan as the rest of you.
Now it's just an excuse.
I can't say that I have listened to those albums. And therefore I can't say that I could make such a astute observation.
All right.
Like, I probably have heard songs off of them, but like I haven't sat down and like digested like the full album from there to like be able to go, yeah, that song would definitely be, Fuel off of, one of the albums you listed.
Mm-hmm.
Death Magnetic, I think that was one of them. Yeah.
He does listen.
I do.
Awesome.
I tried, man. Yeah, as I said, that's not to say that I like Metallica or I think Metallica's bad. I don't know. I don't listen to as much metal as you guys do. Yeah, that's the truth of it. I am not as much of a metalhead as you guys. So
okay. So
hey, different tastes, different things.
Mm-hmm.
It's all right. But no, I really did like that track. I listened to it. I was like, damn, this needs to go in my hockey music. So
do it.
I will. I will. I'm just waiting for the album to drop. So
I have other songs for you that you should add. Just gonna I'm gonna rapid fire these right now.
Let me.
If you're listening to this and you're looking for new or newer rock music, here's some songs. 1, Bullet Holes by Bush. That one is already maybe a year and a half old, 2 years old. Still a good song. Another song. Waiting on the Sky to Change by Starset and Breaking Benjamin. Fantastic song. Have you played Will It Go Round in Circles yet by Billy Preston?
Yes.
Okay, I figured
of
that
course,
you have.
Of course I have.
Because, that's one of your songs, man. He just enjoys the song a lot. Let Me Live My Life by Saint Sonia. Already an oldie in the terms of, 6 to 8 years old, but a good song.
Hey, this is all modern stuff compared to the 80s rock that people have had to listen to at high school hockey games for years. Like, it's This is bringing us to the future, man. The future.
Here's an old Fighting Sioux classic that I used to play at the Ralph Engelstead Arena and got Kyle into it by the band Skillet, Whispers in the Dark. That one, that's a banger over the sound system. Oh, it sounds so good. I love it. Low Life by Crowbot. Very good one. Going back to 2004 from the band Velvet Revolver. Slither.
I got that one.
Wonderful. That's good to hear. Let's see as I keep going down. By the way, I'm taking a quick look at the Killer Kidder Show playlist, which I curate, maintain, add good stuff to all the time. And these are just on shuffle. So it shows you the amazing experience you can have on Spotify just by listening to this. Apocalyptica featuring Lacey Sturm. Again of the band Flyleaf. The song Broken Pieces. That's a really good one too. And all of those that I grabbed for you there, no swearing.
Which is
he's giving me a thumbs up, I know.
all of that is good because we every now and then especially like at the JV games, you get parents playing the music and they don't always think about like if there's swearing or cursing or if the lyrics of the song are actually appropriate to be playing in a family setting. So I do try to pay attention to that with what I play. And, there's probably some like really good song. Well, I can think of some really good songs like Holy Touch by Foxy Shazam. Banger of a song. Content, like there's no swearing in it, but the content of what that song is about, it's like, I can't play that. As much as I would love to. I settled for their song Unstoppable. Also a banger. Rest of the stuff by Foxy Shazam, I haven't like I like those two songs and like everything else in their catalog. I'm kind of like,
Mm-hmm.
Don't you hate that when you like hear like a really good song and you're like, this is great. I love this song. Let me check out the rest of this artist selection. You find out like it's like the one black sheep in their catalog. Like everything else is like kind of emo and love song and different. And you're just like, no, play these, play more stuff like this.
Like this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hate when that happens.
Godsmack's first single from their upcoming album in February. The song's called Surrender. Good one. 3 Till Morning also has a brand new single called Our Reality. They're a local artist from a regional artist from Minneapolis. So make sure you listen to those guys because they do kick ass. And I know I mentioned new music from Bush. Yes, the band they call Bush. The song More Than Machines. That one's a really good track. It's got a nice guitar riff to it. Yeah, it's good stuff. I think I gave you a good 10-15 there.
Yeah, that's a very good selection, Kidder, and I do appreciate it because in the past when you've given me stuff, which I think the last time I made a call, I think you only actually gave me one song, but it was a good one. It was Shinedown's Planet Zero, and you told me about it. I went out, I listened to it like I do with all of these, and I went, "Yep, this is good." And I play that at warm-ups. I do love that song during warm-ups. It's wow.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just like it really, it is. It's just a excellent track for that. And there's others that I've found. Like I've added Skillet's "Feel Invincible" to the warm ups. I have a couple songs by the Who that I've added in. Not the Who, but the Mongolian throat singers Who. So like Wolf Totem,
the HU.
Yeah. Have made it in. As I said, I'm just trying to change it up because I really do get tired of, and again, it's not that Enter Sandman is a bad song. It's not that Master of Puppets is bad or Thunderstruck or TNT or,
They've been played at every sporting event from junior high through professional leagues since they came out.
Yeah, I actually was having a conversation with one of the off-ice officials at hockey last weekend about it. And I said, I think part of the problem is that we as hockey fans, if you've gone to hockey games, you've heard these songs, and it just becomes very associated that these songs are hockey songs. And so you feel like you have to play them, I can guarantee you that Guns N' Roses' Welcome to the Jungle with that opening, riff gets played at just about every hockey game, around. It's what happens. And so it's really interesting when you get someone like me in there who, I tend to associate like a certain sound with hockey. Yes, there are songs that I just named Guns N' Roses "Welcome to the Jungle." It's like, yeah, I remember that. That was one of the opening songs for the Fighting Sioux when we were there. I remember that right before face-offs, So yeah, it's associated very much with that. But there's also just the right energy in such a song, and so I end up playing a lot of different stuff. Which is okay. I've added a lot of the struts into what I play.
They're on tour right now, by the way.
I gotta go see one of their shows, man. I like their music enough. I've seen some of their concerts online, and it just looks like a good time.
They're coming to Cincinnati in the near future.
That's a little far, kidder. I got kids.
Hey, I'm just sharing information I know, man.
So
you to look into.
Some of us can't travel, halfway across the country to take in a concert. It's how it goes.
Another one, Eva, Under Fire. Song called Blow. Good. If you want to throw back the new music for Orange Cassidy, Jane by Jefferson Starship. Bam, bam, pretty much anything from Monster Truck, the Canadian band, a 3-piece, look like lumberjacks on the stage. They just kick ass.
Monster Truck really should have been the guys who did the theme song to Monster Garage.
Yep. I don't think they were together when Monster Garage was a thing, though.
I don't think they were, but, that just seems like, like that would fit. Not that I know their music or what they sound like, but, just... Yeah. I don't know.
It's like Southern fried rock. That's a banger, but it's like every song. Sweet Mountain River is one of their big songs, and Don't Tell Me How to Live is another really good song. The 2013 album Curiosity has some really good ones too. Sweet Mountain River. Oh, Sweet Mountain River. Yeah.
Yeah. Kidder,
yeah.
Like as I said, I've been adding new stuff. I've added stuff from the band Saul, who we had the pleasure of having on the show way back in our early days. You want to go check that out?
Brand new single out as well.
They do. I checked it out, and nothing against them. Okay, remember when I said certain things, and I'm just looking for hockey music. Some things just don't scream hockey, and that song did not feel hockey-ish to me. Little bit more like on the screamo side than I tend to like, but it's nothing against the band. I have found that I have enjoyed quite a few of their tracks off their first album. I'm waiting to hear more of what they're doing. So not that it's a terrible track, just not quite my cup of tea. So, but I did check that one out because I remembered seeing that they had new music out. I was like, oh, maybe something like this would work because I've already put 3 of their songs into my hockey rotation. Maybe this one would be good. So, and Kidder, I believe, although I could be wrong, aren't they coming to Fargo soon? Like real soon?
Well, it was supposed to be tonight.
Oh.
But there's a little thing called snow and the weather and whatnot. And so, unfortunately, they missed the Fargo show, weren't able to travel because, driving on the roads with a giant van / bus and a trailer, ice and snow doesn't really work that well with it. So they were unfortunately not able to make it to Fargo. Same thing happened with Minneapolis this past weekend, or middle of the week, I guess, because there's a huge storm that rolled through the Minneapolis area too. And, bunch of vehicles flying off the road and blocking interstates and things like that. Again, a little better to stay home and reschedule stuff for later.
Well, hopefully they make it back up into this area. I know the last time they came through, you were disappointed. You were elsewhere, so you missed.
I was in Vegas.
Yeah. Yep. So you were in Vegas, so you missed them that time. So I for your sake, was hoping that they would be able to swing through and you'd get to go check out their show. So
I was also hoping that you would have gone to the show and bootlegged the whole thing for me, but I see what kind of a friend you are.
Yes, the kind who has terrible luck, and if I had tried to bootleg anything, I'd find the one security guard who'd kick my ass to the curb. So
make us famous. Make us famous, Jaco.
Let's get famous for a better reason than, bootlegging concerts.
That's what we really do here at Beer, Blues, and BS. Get to shows and secretly bootleg them for your viewing enjoyment. Like a few weeks back when you got to see some of Skillet's performance in Bismarck with Lacey Sturm.
Yeah. Yeah, how did that end up in an episode?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. I don't question Future Howard or his sources of materials. He just he does what he does, man. He does what he does.
Yeah, he just gets stuff. But I think you were going to mention, we've had Saul and Blake Bedsole on the show before. It's in the archive. Go watch it. BeerBluesBS.com.
Hey, you know what?
Episodes.
It's probably a handy link over here. Probably a handy link down below. But yeah, check it out.
Show notes are your friend.
Yeah. So, Kidder, hey, since we're on the topic of music, I got an interesting story for you.
Oh, do you now?
Yeah, I do. So last week, we recorded our review of Survivor Series. And if you recall, we ended kind of late on that review. And so after we were done, I made my way upstairs, got ready for bed, climbed in my bed. My head hits the pillow, and I'm like, okay, this is great. And then all of a sudden, Kidder, right? I kid you not, out of nowhere comes the faint sound of rock and roll.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know where it was coming from, Kidder, but it was enough. It was kind of almost alarming because, It's like all of a sudden, like I'm laying here in my bed and I'm hearing rock and roll, and it's like, am I hallucinating due to lack of sleep? There's a possibility. Trying to remember what I drank on the show. Am I having some adverse reaction to some crazy thing I drank? But no, I just had a sour. I should have been fine. And then you start getting into the other things like, holy crap, is this in my house? So of course I got to get back out of bed and walk through my house and try to isolate this sound, and came to the conclusion it's not in my house. So the only thing I can come up with, Kidder, is one of two things. One, somebody in my neighborhood is playing in a rock band, and their rehearsals go until like 1 a.m. Or two, my house is haunted by a ghost of the rock band variety who are apparently jamming in the middle of the night.
Seems acceptable.
Yeah. I mean, it's par for the course on this show. I mean, J.S. Gunslinger is haunted by the ghost of Jimi Hendrix. I couldn't tell you
ghosts.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you who this band was because I couldn't quite make out a sound, like enough of a song, because it was faint enough. But yeah, I apparently have some rock band hanging out, jamming at 1 a.m. in my house.
Well, that's how it goes.
Yeah.
Usually it's just the band's in my head. Right.
Don't tend to have bands in my head. I get a lot of earworms, man. I get songs stuck in my head really easily.
Like Pick Up the Pieces by the Average White Band?
No, the one that I've had stuck in my head as of recently has been, and I talked about it on the show, is Reverend Peyton's Big Damn Band's The Wolfman Can't Come, which is more of a Halloween song, but it's just got this like great like surfer, like 1960s surfer riff to it that is just like, it gets stuck in my head. So it's a good track. It's amazing. They're a 3-piece band, Kidder, but they sound just like a big rock band.
Oh, like that. I got a band for you. Monster Truck. Yeah, Pick Up the Pieces by the Average White Band. That song haunted me for 6 months because I had the riff in my head. I know this song. Where is it? You try and hum it into your sound recognition software. Doesn't recognize it. You sit and search, and the closest thing is you get some pop music that rips off of them, the original. And I'm like, no, I don't want that song. I want the original song that's in here. Give me the good stuff. I don't need that, which I'm drawing a blank on even who it was, and I could see his face, but he and a few other artists combined to make this other song, and then later got sued by somebody else from another song that they ripped off for that track. But
yeah, I was trying to think of what the last song was that got truly stuck in my head like that. It's been a while since it's happened, but yeah, it's not coming to me what it was. But I've had that before where, yeah, you get a song just completely stuck in your head and you're just like, and you could try and listen to it, and that just doesn't always relieve it. Those pesky earworms. Let's see, where are we on the old run sheet here?
Well, we haven't gone down really too far. The last piece with music I think that we'd want to talk about would be Spotify. And I know I said the word, but the big thing right now is Wrapped. They've been doing this for, good 10 years. A little over, about 10 years. We'll just say 10 years, roughly. Where, as a Spotify user, they steal all of your data because it's their platform. They log you as a user, and they track all of your information of what songs you listen to, what albums they're from, what artists they're from, what genre they're from, how long you listen to that track, how many times you listen to that track, how many times you listen to that artist, how many times you listen to that album, how many times you listen to that genre, etc. And then they compile it in a nice handy-dandy list to give you your most insert thing here. So, for me, I think the first time I posted it was last year, just out of curiosity, and then everybody started doing it. And so, out of, I don't want to say spite, but out of my resistance to follow the social norm, I did not post it to social media this year. Instead, I'm doing what everybody else does and talk about it on their podcast. So, here is my Wrapped, because it's exactly what you wanted to see and or hear, depending if you're watching and or listening. So,
Kidder, before you dive into this, just a little thing. I just want to point out, we mentioned that we don't talk about how Future Howard ends up with some of the stuff he ends up with. Sometimes past Kidder sent stuff to Future Howard with no explanation of why he's sending it to him, and all of a sudden it's like Future Howard's like, I guess we're going to be talking about this on a show at some point, and hey, now this makes sense, because yes, you sent me all of this stuff earlier, and I was like, okay, why is Kidder sharing this with me? Now it makes sense, man. Pieces are coming together. I've also been very sleep deprived, so probably why it took me this long to figure it out. But Kidder,
just drawing this together, right? And just drawing it all together.
Mm-hmm. So let's hear about your Wrapped for the year.
Okay. I also, through my ability to think of different things and then slowly come about it by the 3 degrees of separation, Bruno Mars would be the artist who I was looking for with those songs that are similar, but ripping it off. Anyway, let's start with my top songs. At number 5, the song Brother by Saul. At number 4, Bulletproof Skin by Institute, an oldie but a goodie. That a one album band featuring Gavin Rossdale of Bush. Number 3, Leper Messiah, the remastered version from Metallica. Of course, from the album Master Puppets from 1986. At number 2, Metallica's I Disappear from the Mission Impossible 2 soundtrack that came out in 2000. And my number 1 song. Howard, would you like to guess song or band or both?
I'm trying to remember, because I did look through this. I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, it's a Metallica song.
Correct.
Oh yeah, isn't it Orion?
It is.
Yeah.
Because he's such a good boy. He likes to listen to his song all the time.
Not gonna lie, kid. The first thing that came to my mind was that it was Onion, but then I was like, no, that doesn't make sense. It's Orion, isn't it?
A lot of people have problems saying that. They see it and they go Orion, and I'm like, there's no E. There's an I there. O Orion. You know, the Orion Nebula, Orion's Belt, the Orion constellation, different things like that. The Orion spacecraft from NASA. Anyway, there's that. All right, so my top songs out of the way. I listened to Orion 11 times, which apparently I also listened to it the most on April 15th, 2022. This next piece I think was pretty interesting. It's how many minutes how many minutes you've listened to music on Spotify. Now, me being an audiophile, how many minutes do you think I listened to music on Spotify?
Gosh, wasn't it somewhere in the ballpark of like 13,000?
Oh, it's more than that.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a 1 and a 3 in there, isn't there?
There's a 3. In fact, there are 2 3s. It was 29,334 minutes. Which, if you think about, rent and how many minutes are in a year, I'm getting up there listening to it, which is kind of funny because I typically only listen to Spotify when I'm mowing the lawn, using the snowblower to clear out the snow, or gaming. So I guess I've listened to some music. That's more than 81% of other listeners in the U.S. I'm working toward that top tier level. Speaking of that, who do you think my top overall artist is?
I mean, the safe bet is Metallica.
I thought I listened to a lot of other music, but Metallica is still, for the second year in a row, back-to-back champion, my number one artist, and I've listened to 2,508 minutes of Metallica. I know that's very low numbers to what it should be, but I'm in the top 1% of listeners when listening to Metallica. Yeah. At the top, baby.
Well, nothing against Metallica, right? But they have not put out a lot of new music for quite a while. So
2016 was their last album.
Yeah. So it's kind of one of those things where I think they get a lot of listens when they put something out, but then they kind of like fade away. And there's also just a ton of new stuff coming out all the time. And so it doesn't surprise me. It really, you get to just the few people who are then like the true like fans of the band. Probably do most of the listening.
Hell yeah.
Not us every once in a while, guys. Hey, a Metallica song's playing.
Yeah, you got that new song. Have you heard of this new band called Metallica?
Man, they're awesome. I think they started in a garage somewhere.
Yeah, they started in a garage and then went back to the garage in 2003. Hashtag Saint Anger. My top artists. You already know who the number one artist is on the list. But let's go back. Let's walk it back to number 5. Before I list the other 4, would you like to take a guess as to who my other favorites apparently? Because I also, just as a side note, I find this a little interesting because almost 100% of the time, I listen to my Killer Kidder Show playlist on shuffle. So I don't specifically go to a song. I specifically don't repeat a song. And I don't specifically repeat an album or an artist. So all of it is randomized within my playlist. And as I've talked about, there are thousands of songs within this playlist from probably almost 1,000 bands.
I was trying to think of who it was. Because again, I saw these a while ago.
3 of the 5 were mentioned on your list in front of you.
I was going to say, I want to say Skillet was on there.
Nope.
Yeah.
But good guess.
Well, you've mentioned Bush a lot. That could be.
No, another good guess.
Flyleaf?
Nope.
Godsmack?
Good guess. Yes, Godsmack at number 4.
That's right. That's why don't you just read off the list, Kidder?
Okay. I mean, this is kind of fun, Banter. You wanted a banter heavy episode.
I did, but I'm also out of beer, so I want to wrap it up so we can.
That's what you get for only having a 12-ounce. I mean, I've been doing like a lot of talking, and I'm almost done with my 16-ounce pounder.
Well, hurry up! I got what's on tap 2 right here. I'm just I'm waiting patiently.
Number 5, Breaking Benjamin. Number 4, Godsmack. Number 3, Volbeat. Number 2, Oasis.
Yeah,
a curveball. And then number 1 being Metallica.
I knew Volbeat was on there. Like as soon as you said, I was like, yeah. I remember Oasis was on there because I was like, Oasis, really? Okay.
Interestingly enough, I over the past couple of years started listening to more Oasis, and I have enjoyed listening to Oasis. They got a lot of great music.
Didn't say they didn't.
I know. And I'm just throwing it out there for the non-believers who are like, who's Oasis? Like, I've heard of them. Weren't they big in the 90s? Yes, they were. One of the biggest bands on the planet. So, there's that cool 29,334 minutes, and I added to that again earlier tonight. Playing some more on Spotify. I wonder if that goes up. Now I'm curious. All right, what do you got on tap, Howard? I'm gonna look at this. I don't want to chug this because I just enjoy this.
I mean, I can wait, Kidder, until you're done. I mean, that won't take too terribly long for you to finish that cold smoke. At least I hope not.
I think you need to start drinking now.
You're always trying to peer pressure me into drinking, man.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I apparently played 3,629 songs as well. That's a piece that wasn't shared on the rest of it.
All right, Kidder, what's on tap? Round 2. I am bringing in from the Cigar City Brewing Company out of Tampa, Florida, I believe. Yes, Tampa, Florida. Trying to get some more states off our list here, Kidder. This is a Margarita Gose, or Gose, I should say. It says refreshingly tart on here. Alcohol by volume 4.2%. It's ale brewed with orange, lime, and salt. Tropical influence meets innovative brewing in the tart margarita-inspired ale. Effervescent on the palate, our Margarita Gose utilizes orange peel, lime, and salt to create a zesty, light-bodied, and entirely unique beer experience.
Wow.
Yeah. So, should be hints of a margarita. Real smell, so I'm not picking up the orange or the lime, which you often can do with a citrusy beer. Huh. Not quite the taste I was expecting. I was expecting it to be a little bit more sour, but again, it's kind of a mild sour. And I'm picking up the lime. I'm picking up the salt. Not really getting the orange. So. It's all right, kidder. It's just all right.
It's just all right. That's funny.
It's just all right. It's not my favorite beer I've had. It's not terrible. I mean, that's a solid 3, an average. But I will say I'm disappointed by both of my beers tonight.
Can't always have a cold smoke.
I mean, I got 2 out in my fridge.
But then you have 2, and then what do? You don't have any more.
Yeah, and I mean, the one I got from the local geek, I have on in my beer fridge, kidder, I have a couple of the can, like, you fill them up and so you can pull the can from the bottom. So that's how I decide what I have for the evening. I just grab whatever on the bottom. So the cold smoke from the local geek is in there and working its way towards the bottom. That way I can hopefully get my beer out in a fairly consistent and regular thing. And it's not like, hey, that thing has lived in my fridge for months, years. So that's the goal. That's the plan. So I'm trying. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. I'm still stalling, trying to let Kidder finish that cold smoke. I think he's done it.
Oh,
maybe.
I mean,
possibly.
Pretty much. But it's good to the last sip. You can't let that rarity. It's like a unicorn in the beer world. You can't let that just go to waste.
You can't. I mean, you really can't go wrong with a cold smoke. You just can't. Now I wish I had a cold smoke instead of this.
Apparently you have two in your fridge.
Well, I know, but I mean, like, instead of like what I'm having, like, I should have gone with the cold smoke, but
well, we didn't plan ahead.
No.
So there's that.
We don't plan ahead. We don't use tools or clever bait.
Let's open up ye only beer fridge. Let's see. Let's do this. Pretty sure I've had this on the show before. It's the Laughing Sun Space Probe Blue. The Blueberry Sour Ale. It's from our friends at Laughing Sun Brewing here in Bismarck, North Dakota. LaughingSunBrewing.com. Everywhere online. The interesting notes about this one, it is 5% alcohol by volume. It is a blueberry sour ale, and you will taste blueberries, slightly sweet and tart. It's also 12 fluid ounces, all in this here can. Keep cold, enjoy fresh breeze, reshaker. Put it into the North Dakota Fighting Sioux Yeti. There it is. Show that off again. And open up. And with this, the nice thing about it is when you crack that top or even put it into a nice glass, like a Beer Blues and BS glass, custom made for you, beerbluesbs.com. Click on merch. You'll smell the blueberry sour right out of the top of the can. So cheers, Howard Blues. Oh, yeah. It reminds me of a blueberry version of the very tasty usually get it around Christmas, but the cold duck sparkling grape juice. Now they have the normal grape, but then they have the apple variant as well, or crisp cider, I guess. And this is like a blueberry version of it, but with alcohol instead of, not with alcohol. This is so good. I suppose I'm slacking on ratings too for the local geek. He's probably shaking his head at us because we're giving him all kinds of weird, out in the woods type of stuff. Cold Smoke, a solid choice. 4.5 out of 5. Very good. I got to dock it because it's, rarity. It's not like I can go to the liquor store and buy a 6-pack. You know what I mean? So they get docked for their inconvenience. And the blueberry sour, also very delicious. I give that 4.5 as well. Next up on the list, wrestling. It's been a little bit since we've talked some wrestling. And by a little bit, I don't know, what, a week?
Yeah, last week we had Rudeboy Kyle on, and we had some excellent conversation about hockey, and so we didn't really get around to talking wrestling. So probably should do that. Probably should chat a little bit about the old squared circle, the old brass ring.
Well, how about somebody? I got to bring up something else too when we're done talking wrestling, because I forgot to talk about something important. And what is that? Well, the top 8 most popular beers. We'll come back to that. That's a tease yet for the show. Stay tuned. So the first thing wrestling related is Glenn Jacobs. When I say Glenn Jacobs, you, Jaco, you know who Glenn Jacobs is.
Yeah, he portrayed Dr. Isaac Yankum,
the most famous dentist in all of wrestling.
Yep. He also was Fake Diesel.
That was more of a side note. But and I say that Dr. Yankum there still more popular and well known compared to Dr. Britt Baker DMD. Just a hot take there.
Yeah, and then then he had that other small gimmick that he did. It never really caught on. It was pretty minor. Only lasted for a little while, but that was the big red machine came. Right. Small role, small, short-lived thing.
Yeah. So, interestingly enough, we've kind of covered it before, I think, at some point, I'm sure. But Glenn Jacobs, formerly of WWE, essentially, I mean, he's a Hall of Famer. He's been the mayor of Knox County, Tennessee since 2018. He won a second term in August of 22 this year. Well, turns out Glenn Jacobs, at least in name, has been dragged into a lawsuit that has seen the county pay over $150,000 to its former Parks and Recreation director, Paul White. Not related to, the Big Show. So, as we talk about this, Glenn Jacobs was alleged to have used county employees to work at his home and was also alleged to have instructed Paul White to lie to state investigators and of cursing at him when he refused. The case began with the allegations that Jacobs' chief of staff, Brian Hare, had been using a county-owned golf cart for his own private use at his home. That led to an investigation by the state of Tennessee, which snowballed into allegations of Jacobs slamming his fist on a desk and swearing at White, as well as county employees being tasked with removing a snake from Jacobs' home. On that point, a county spokesperson is quoted as saying that The work was done when the employees were on their lunch break, so it was not on the clock. The county settled the suit with Paul White, with him being paid $97,771, as well as $54,228 in attorney fees, for a grand total of $151,999. Your hot take on that hot potato from the Raging Inferno, Glenn Jacobs?
You know, it's one of those things. I've always heard good things about Glenn, that he's the nicest guy in the world and all of that. But that said, this wouldn't be the first time that people in government have done stupid stuff like this, where it's, used staff for their own personal stuff. So, sad to hear it. But if they did what he said and was using staff in that way, that is technically wrong, and he has to be held accountable. So we'll see what comes of it. But overall, yeah, as I said, I've always heard that he was a nice guy. So we'll see.
We shall see. Sticking with the WWE, we haven't seen Robert Roode for a while.
And it's been glorious.
Has it, though?
I don't know. Easy joke, man. Easy joke.
Well, turns out, he was part of the Dirty Dogs with Dolph Ziggler, but he hasn't been seen for a little bit. Well, it turns out the reason for it is because he has recently underwent C5, C6 fusion surgery. That, of course, is where you have to get your C5 and C6 fused, hopefully to release some pain and other neck problems. He posted on Instagram earlier today that the fusion was complete, and now he goes through recovery and rehab. And he revealed in September that he was scheduled to go through that treatment. Last time he wrestled was June 25th, when he lost to Omos at a live event, WWE Live in Texas. Last televised match took place on the SmackDown before WrestleMania, when he was in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Unknown how long he'll be off TV or how long he will be forced to recover, but his posts up there on their Instagram thing. So, best wishes to the glorious one, Bobby Roode.
Yeah.
Got to see him at the Royal Rumble back in 2019.
Well,
and that was glorious.
Speaking of the Royal Rumble, Kidder, I don't know if you saw this. There was a post that circled, made its way around the old dirt sheets that was supposedly the leaked planning for this year's Royal Rumble.
Yes.
It for a while, it had some traction and people believing it, but it was quickly discovered to be a fake. I forget what was there were a couple of names that when you read it, you're just like, wait, no, they're not. Because I think it had some crossover with like AEW and such. So I thought that was interesting that was out there and floating around. So
I mean,
that one had
the thing about that list is if those people came back, I mean, it's slightly plausible that those people could show up because, are they being used? Are they still under contract? I don't know.
I don't think these were passed. I'm going to look it up real quick.
Okay. Well, you're looking that up. As a side note from tonight's WWE SmackDown that I haven't actually seen yet, so these are spoilers to me and to you. Although, if you haven't seen it yet in 2 weeks, then you need to get to it. Tegan Nox has returned, and Ricochet picked up the victory in the SmackDown World Cup on Fox tournament and will face Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship soon. Not sure when. And to swing it on back to the Royal Rumble 2023 coming up at the third-ish week of January, as that is the next month on the calendar already. The Royal Rumble #1 entrant has reportedly been announced, which will help us confirm or bust this list. Kofi Kingston. We're able to find the list, Howard.
Working on it. I accidentally typed in 2022 instead of 2023. Apparently, there was a fake list in 2022 as well.
Allegedly, Seth Rollins was supposed to be the number one.
Yeah, Seth Rollins was #1, Riddle 2, Austin Theory 3. But some of the things, as I said, that kind of tipped people off. Your number 10 entrant was Matt Cardona, better known to those as Zack Ryder. So they had him on there, which doesn't make a lot of sense. Jay White, who has never worked for the company. He's over at New Japan. He's the current leader of the Bullet Club, if I recall. Although that could have changed. It's been a while since I followed New Japan.
He's been working.
So him being on there, but that's through their partnership with New Japan. Yeah, but for him to be on there, no. John Cena was listed on here, and then they also had a note at the bottom. CM Punk was originally going to enter as number 30. However, he was attacked by Brock Lesnar with 3 F5s and unable to participate. They had Punk on here. This fake list had the winner being Cody Rhodes. The other thing that makes this list really easy to tell that it's a fake is the time. A wrestling match, it's kind of an improv thing, so you can't necessarily predict everything with it, But this gets down to like the amount of time that everybody's in the ring, and it goes down to the second, So like Seth Rollins is going to be in the match for 56 minutes, 30, 35 seconds, and 20, microseconds. It's milliseconds. There we go.
Because there is the potential for Cody Rhodes to be back in action within the next month, potentially.
I'm not gonna lie, Kidder. Cody Rhodes was actually he's on my list of people to possibly win the Rumble. Like when it comes to prediction time, I kind of sitting on Cody Rhodes.
See, I wanted to make the prediction. It's going to be Cody Rhodes. Lock it in now. But if he doesn't show up for the Royal Rumble, then that would be a weak-ass pick.
It's a risk. It's a risk. It's a bold strategy to do that. I mean, I've also saw a rumor today that The Rock was going to win the Royal Rumble this year to set up his match against Roman Reigns at WrestleMania.
I saw the rumor too. I thought it was just a championship match at Royal Rumble. That would make more sense. I mean, it wouldn't make sense, but it would.
It would. People would pop. Like you would get a big pop if he showed up at the Rumble, and it would give you the easy reason why he would have a match with Roman. And you wouldn't necessarily need to spend a ton of time like building a feud. It would be doable. It would make sense in that sense. But Yeah, no, I'm still leaning pretty heavily on maybe picking Cody Rhodes to win the Rumble.
Great match, and really,
So
he would be a good person to take it over.
he would. That would be he would make an excellent champion.
So, if you don't have any other WWE related news, other than being happy that the next premium live event will be the Royal Rumble in January. And so, yes, we have essentially 2 months without doing anything.
So I guess we're jumping over to AEW.
Sure. And I am still holding out for CM Punk to return. Whether it's AEW because he's still under contract, or WWE because they work something out and pay off the rest of his contract. I don't care. He showed up at an MMA event doing commentary, so it's a step in the right direction. But according to Sportskeeda, they have reported that despite having the cover changed, CM Punk will still be in AEW Fight Forever. The game is also T for teen.
Yeah, I saw that.
Mm-hmm.
I also saw Kidder. I know I've been kind of like negative to your whole, it's a work thing, but I have seen a few more of the reporting sources, especially after the Elite versus Death Triangle in Chicago as part of their Best of 7 series, being very heelish, and also Kenny Omega kind of recreating some of the scenes from the brawl, that this may be a work and a reason to bring him back. I don't know that I believe it, but I mean, I've seen it. I've seen people making that call. So I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not saying that I still think he's done with AEW, but we'll see.
Way to be ambiguous with that.
I'm just reporting what other people are saying, man.
Yeah,
but I don't have anything conclusive. I mean, listen, it's not like I'm an actual journalist here. I just see what other
podcast.
Yep.
Yep. Well, here's the funny thing, because if it comes true, which I hope that it does, but if it comes true, then I was saying it since day one, damn it. Because you the twos and we the ones. That's how that goes. But with the contract, as far as Punk and being paid, he is still under contract. He's still sitting at home getting a paycheck from AEW. I wish I could do that. That'd be fun. Apparently, AEW is the one holding up Punk because he's waiting to do other projects. I mean, whatever. So, if you're not planning on bringing him back, release him, let him do something else, right? If he's not going to be released, then bring him back onto AEW television and make something out of all of the information that's been put out there, because you have a lot of attention on your brand. Let's see what happens, right? If he goes to WWE, I don't know. I mean, would it be just about ratings and money? That'd be an interesting thing to see. And then does he like Triple H? Triple H and CM Punk have had some heat against each other in the past, but I mean, that's a lot of money and eyeballs on CM Punk, right?
Yeah, I did see some stuff with that, including reading some comments where somebody put, I mean, it makes sense. If you're WWE and you want to make money, you bring Punk in and let him trash AEW and maybe have one match, give him like the rock star Brock Lesnar sort of treatment where he only wrestles a couple matches a year under big events. That would make money. And somebody said, well, yeah, because the WWE isn't already profitable and making money. And the original commenter on that just put, when is it ever a problem to want to make more money as a business? So it was an interesting little debate, but
yeah, it's true.
All right.
Other than that, in wrestling, a couple quick hits from this past week. Ruby Soho is back on Dynamite, making her impact known. MJF brought a new variant of the AEW Championship. The belt itself is different, so the plates are the same, but a different belt. And he knocked out William Regal. And this one I'm looking forward to, and for us this upcoming Wednesday, the Acclaimed, the AEW Tag Team Champions, versus FTR. FTR have been having some phenomenal, just fantastic singles and tag matches over the past few months. I firmly believe they are the best tag team in wrestling. New Day, I would say, would be like second. There's maybe a hot take. I don't know. How do you feel about that?
I mean, I've always liked FTR. I think that they have had phenomenal matches. Their matchup against DIY in NXT was I mean, just a beautiful match, and they have still been tearing it up. They are an example of one of like the biggest things that WWE screwed up in letting go. They really, these guys are very talented. They're an amazing tag team. Would I put them at the top of my list? I probably would. I like New Day, but New Day has great matches against the Usos, but and maybe like the Street Profits, but I really haven't, I can't think of any other really great New Day feuds, if that makes sense. The Bar, I would say, is decent. But I think that kind of comes down to it, is I think you can say FDR has had some amazing feuds in their time away. And you can name different opponents of them and great matches that they've had with those opponents. You can't really do that with some of these other ones. And part of that is WWE just does had a thing against tag teams for so long that, they just haven't really built good, strong tag teams. You could probably name all of the tag teams in the men's division pretty easily because there's only 4 of them. It's getting better, but you had your Viking Raiders, you had your New Day, you had the Usos, you have the Street Profits, you have Alpha Academy, and then you have kind of the strange mashups like RK Bro.
You pretty much named everybody.
Yeah. I mean, 6 tag teams. That's kind of it. And so you can't build quite the feuds and the legacy and just change it up and have great matches. You kind of, we've seen the New Day versus pretty much all of those guys already.
Yep.
What's left to see with the New Day?
Yeah. I do think that they're trying to work on getting more tag teams put together and brought up. So there's that. Also like to say that I forgot to mention it, a couple weeks ago, but the Viking Raiders have returned, and they brought back Sarah Logan because, she's married to Eric, I think. But the other piece of it is she is no longer Sarah Logan. She is Valhalla. That's her new wrestling name. Zelina Vega has a stable as well. So they are kind of set to be the next big faction to take over the tag division. There's thoughts of them steamrolling and then potentially being the team to beat the Usos, since obviously the New Day was unable to beat the Usos to stop them from breaking the New Day's longest reigning title holding streak. The other piece with that is the Usos have not beaten, I want to say it's the SmackDown Championship, Tag Team Championships, and in the fact that there's still the New Day is still the longest reigning for that belt. But again, there's a few moving pieces there. Also, with the Maximum Male models being pushed aside and potentially repurposed, that's another faction that's been pushed to the wayside, because I thought their gimmick was just terrible. That was with LA Knight / Max Dupree. If you saw them or were saved from that. LA Knight cast them aside, basically beat them up, and said, "You guys are stupid. You're not listening to me," and reverted back to his NXT personality, LA Knight. And LA Knight is now set to feud with The Fiend.
Which I'm kind of glad for, because for a while people were talking that The Fiend was going to feud with The Fiend, and that just sounded stupid. So, but we'll see. It was. Yeah, I say that because it's like, what iterations, was it supposed to be Bray Wyatt versus Uncle Howdy, Bray Wyatt versus The Fiend? I was just kind of like, it's just going to be him versus him, because that's kind of what they're playing at. But I'm glad that
piece in play, because they haven't revealed who Uncle Howdy is. So, is it Bo Dallas, or is it somebody else?
Or it's Bray Wyatt, and it's just an alternative personality, much like The Fiend was an alternative personality and character. We'll see. It'll be interesting to see, and it'll be interesting to see what the match against LA Knight looks like. I'm hoping it's good, because it would be nice for Bray Wyatt to put some good matches down. I think he's suffered a lot from too many hands in kind of what he was doing before.
So we were talking. It's interesting how we were talking AEW, and we went back to WWE like that. But MJF has replaced the AEW belt. Mentioned that. Knocked out William Regal and the Acclaimed and FTR coming up on Dynamite. Just a quick recap to bring you back to where we started. And that's it for wrestling. Unless you had other notes to mention about wrestling. Howard Blues.
Oh, nothing else for me.
Okay. You been watching anything on the old television?
A little bit of stuff. The missus and I, we finished the Lincoln Lawyer, and a very good ending, but clearly left with some story elements out there, hoping to get picked up for a season 2, which they have been. Season 2 is coming, but yeah, it leaves, kind of ends with a couple of things out there floating, so that you're like, ooh, what's going to happen next? But a very good series. As I said, anybody who's interested in courtroom drama and mystery, highly recommend. We purchased, I recommended it to you, Kidder. We actually purchased the first season of Staged, starring David Tennant and Michael Sheen. because I've seen clips of it, and the missus hadn't seen any of it. And we watched almost the first season in one night. It's all like 6 episodes, and they're all like 22 minutes long. It's like, I think it was like $8 on Amazon Prime to purchase the season, which isn't bad. Kidder, it's excellent. It's, everything that I said and kind of recommended. It's a lot of fun. There's some cameos in there that I don't want to give away because they would be big spoilers. Also, I will say the editing team on that, they play in the same mindset as Future Howard, because there's Easter eggs, my friend, that get worked into that. And you almost do need to watch this kind of like back to back to back, because there is stuff that carries over. So just as an example, it's not a big spoiler or anything like that, but in the first episode, it ends with an argument over, because again, the show is about David Tennant and Michael Sheen ask themselves, they were supposed to do a play together. It gets canceled because of COVID. So they're trying to rehearse this over the internet. But the first episode ends with them arguing about whose name's going to come first on the poster. And it gets down to alphabetical order. Sheen comes before Tennant, David comes before Michael, so it goes all the way to the middle names. And the next episode, when it starts and it puts up the title, or that goes through the opening credits starring, you'll see who wins the argument, because it puts them in that order with the middle names included. And there's a few other little Easter eggs and stuff like that. So we have just 2 episodes left of it, but it's worth it. It's worth the $8 to buy the first season. If you have Prime, it's worth the watch. It's if you're a fan of David Tennant, it's hilarious. I'm enjoying that. Otherwise, Kidder, it's kids shows. Although Junior's been into Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles lately, so I can appreciate that. It's not Bluey for Mickey Mouse, so yeah. But that's what I've been watching. How about you, Kidder?
Good.
What are you consuming these days?
Well, Star Trek Prodigy, still rolling forward. New episodes each week. It makes me mad because there's still 22 to 24-minute episodes. I'm like, can we please make them longer? They're for streaming services anyway. Make them at least 30 minutes. Hell, these episodes could be 45-minute episodes. The same goes for the other episodes when they come back for the regular shows. Strange New Worlds, Picard, Lower Decks. Make them all 45 to an hour. Get more in there. There's just so much you can dive into. Or if you're making them half an hour, i.e. 24 minutes, make more of them. 10 episodes is stupid. I hate this crap that we're in where, I'm sorry, we can only make 10 episodes as a season. Seriously? Let's go back 20 years when they were making 24 episodes for a season and just do it. Because there's only going to be 7 seasons of this stuff. And then, you get 5 episodes to 8 episodes to maybe 12 episodes a season, and excuses and whatever. Just make it happen. So that's one of the big pieces. Actually, last night, because it's been a while since I've watched the entire series, and a while is like 8 years. Enterprise, watched the premiere for Enterprise last night, the 2-parter. Broken Bow, because it starts in Broken Bow, Oklahoma. So, there's that. Watched a little Enterprise. Watched a couple movies last weekend, including Black Adam. It was okay. I still am not a huge fan of DC's presentation. In fact, I was almost so bored in the first 20 minutes that I almost turned it off. But stuck with it. Got better. It was okay. The whole Rock performance, I don't know. It kind of bothered me, but it was fine at the same time. And on a side note, how do you feel? Because The Rock recently mentioned that he would like to be the next James Bond. How do you feel?
I don't really like. I don't think that they would choose him to be the next James Bond. Just because you have to be British, and he's not. So that would be a huge departure for things they've done in the past. So I'm not even like worried about that. And he can wish to be James Bond, but yeah, that. And as for like Black Adam, I haven't seen it, Kidder, but it doesn't surprise me that's a little weird. Black Adam is kind of weird. He's kind of a villain, kind of a superhero. He's not the like. It's an interesting character for them to go with a whole movie on. So,
yep,
not the easiest sell.
Yeah. And Pierce Brosnan, talking about James Bond and looping that in, is in Black Adam. There's some weird parts. I feel plot holes. I don't know the DC universe. I mean, I don't even know the Marvel universe that well either. But again, it's a lot of that sort of So my overall rating out of 5 would probably be, I don't know, a solid 2.
Yeah.
But let's see, what else? We still haven't made it back to Inside Man with David Tennant. Made it like a quarter to a third of the way through the episode, and then had some issues with Netflix. And then, it wasn't really capturing my interest. I wasn't on the edge of my seat. Like, wow! I was more along the lines of, this is a very interesting series of unfortunate events so far. So there's that. Let's see. Watched it already, talked about it on the show, but Halo Season 1 comes to home video. And there it is on 4K. This is the Steelbook edition. So it's got a couple extra things. The art collector's cards, I guess. I didn't even know they were in there when I ordered it, but there you go. There's a quick preview of the back of the Season 1. Apparently there's over 5 hours of special features on here. The set. And as I've mentioned before, if you have Paramount Plus, you can watch Season 1 on demand right now. Watch them all back to back to back to back to back, because there's 8 or 10 episodes or whatever the hell, because why make like 15 or 20 and tell a full arcing story? Nah. There's that. So maybe I'll open that. Maybe it'll just go on the shelf and get sucked into the collection. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Other things that are coming up, just announced a brand new Reno 911 movie. The last one, Reno 911, The Search for QAnon, It was all right. Solid 2. This one, brand new movie coming out, and it's supposed to be out any day now because it's a Christmas themed movie. Basically, it's again holiday movie, Paramount Plus. Reno 911. It's a Wonderful Heist. So, Nevada's finest, the men and women of the Washoe County Sheriff's Department have bounced around the Quibi to Paramount Plus to the Roku channel for their last 3 seasons, 20 through 22. So, apparently they are now coming back to Comedy Central after 13 years. So, we can look forward to, I hope, getting those episodes that they've done for Quibi, which I don't think made a lot of money, back to Comedy Central. So, again, the first movie, Reno 911 Miami, that was 2007. Followed by, as I just mentioned, Reno 911, The Hunt for QAnon. Now it's Reno 911, It's a Wonderful Heist. So this is very similar to the Frank Capra, It's a Wonderful Life, as it opens with Lieutenant Dangle and Crypto and Holiday, lots of Holiday, and we'll see what happens in It's a Wonderful Heist. There's a lot of stuff that's on here that I don't want to, look through or spoil because I don't want to ruin it for myself. But hoping that it is coming soon. But yes, Howard Blues. What do you got? What?
I got a hot take if you want it.
Shout it out. What do you got?
Reno 911. Not that good. I have watched episodes of it, and I have just never really found it funny. It never really captured my attention, and it was just I can't even really think of the last time I watched a full episode of it. I think
probably when we were living together.
Probably, and I think I watched it because it was on, and that was probably it. Not like under ooh, Reno 911. I don't know. The humor in it just never really appealed to me. So
it was hit or miss.
I've never been a Reno 911 fan, so I was kind of surprised. I actually saw the trailer for this new movie, and
you did.
I did. It popped up, and I was just like, really? This is still a thing?
That's great.
Why won't it die? So
great. Well, what did you think of the trailer?
You know what, Kidder, I when I say I saw the trailer, it started playing, and I'm like, ugh, why won't this die? And I scroll faster. So, I didn't watch much of the trailer. Yeah. So, Kidder, I mentioned this back on our SummerSlam review. But I know not everybody who watches the main show watches the wrestling content, so I wanted to bring it up. It was some sad news that recently hit. A lot of fans of the Reaper Miniatures community and fans. Ed Pugh, who is one of the brothers behind Reaper Miniatures, passed away suddenly and unexpectedly. Ed was the CEO and president of the company. From all accounts, super friendly guy, a guy who constantly was encouraging people to pursue what made them happy, always willing to help others who were in the industry. I've seen a lot of other miniature companies reaching out saying, things along the lines of man, when we started our company, we actually had bi-weekly phone calls with Ed where he would share, some of his insights, from all of his years running Reaper Miniatures. I mean, Reaper Miniatures is hitting their 30th year as a company. It was a big shock. Ed was a near constant appearance on their stream. They would stream on Twitch, give updates about the company, their Kickstarters, and all of that. And besides all of that, Kidder, he also would do things like sculpting. I actually have a miniature that was sculpted by Ed Pugh that I had painted. Just truly an awesome guy, and in the miniature world, somebody who worked his hardest to bring cool, exciting, fun miniatures at a price that people could afford to the masses. And just looking at my desk, Kidder, what I have painting, I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 Reaper miniatures on holders waiting to be painted, including, Kidder, you asked what I was working on earlier. I was working on sculpting a base for this guy. This is the Arachno Standard Bearer. Ed Pugh was a big fan of the Arachno Assassins, these weird 6-armed skeleton guys. Anyway, a huge loss. I know when I heard the news, which was right before we recorded SummerSlam, it was like a gut punch. Our condolences. The whole Reaper family, you're in our thoughts and prayers here from the Triple B. As myself, a big fan of the company and its values and the kindness that it has shown, and it's clearly a result of Ed and his brother Dave, and just how good-natured and all of that. So truly a loss, and it'll be interesting to see how Reaper carries on with that. So I'm working on painting some Reaper minis just right now, just, I don't know, kind of out of tribute, but just kind of a way to be supportive. Kidder, I see there's one last topic that you wanted to cover. So let's bring this show home.
All right. It should, be about that time, because there's been a lot of talk, need a little action. And especially in, a touching subject like that, spring it up a notch. So with the holiday season, Christmas right around the corner, I got a shout out to Rudeboy Kyle. Why? Because I get a knock on the door and a package. Well, look at this. What the hell is this? Well, can only be one thing, right? It's from the Rudeboy Kyle. So let's open up this bad boy on the show as if he were here. I mean, he was just here last week. And if we keep talking long enough, like he'll hear and he'll probably end up kicking down the door. So we don't want to talk that long. I thought we moved the door, locked it up. So, well, holy crap. It's a taste of Iowa. It's the Templeton. Look at that beautiful bottle here. And this is Templeton 6-year. It's the old rye whiskey, because you know, Howard, you know how much I love the old rye whiskey. So look at that. Awesome. Thanks, Rude Boy. 45.75% alcohol by volume. 91.5 proof. Awesome. Also, in another box that showed up at the same time was some stuff from Middleton Mixology. I thought this was quite interesting, and you might as well, Howard Blues. Nice packaging, right? They got the dog with the smoke top hat on. You get it? It's a top hat. So this one, standard butane lighter torch there for bartenders by bartenders. And it goes with this little box right here. I had to open it up and take a look at it earlier, but it's a smoker. Look at that, the smoke top. So what you do, from looking at pictures on the back, you have your drink. You put the smoke top right on the top there, and you get the wood, which just so happens that there's a nice little package that came with it. As I put down, I need like 8 hands, and I can do all this at once. But there's 4 different canisters in here of maple, cherry wood, oak, and hickory. So you have these little canisters there. Quick look at them for you. And you put okay, they unscrew. It's good I didn't try and force them open. There's a look at the wood chippings. Nice macro shot right there. Nice smell. So anyway, you take them out of that and drop them. Just want to make sure I get that closed. You drop them in the top. And as you can see, there's a wire mesh in the top. So it keeps, your material right here so it doesn't drop through into your glass. You got them in there, and then with the butane torch, you light them, and it smokes through the device there, through the top, so then you don't get the pieces of wood in your drink. And as you can see right there, it's over the drink. Got the smoke coming through. And again, because it's, in focus, there it is. There you can see the smoke going through the glass. So, Rudeboy Kyle getting the Triple B into the smoking world. Make some smoked beverages and whatnot. So Howard Blues next premium live event that you come over for, have to make you a smoked whiskey drink or something like that. But thanks to Rudeboy Kyle, wanted to do a live reveal.
Yeah, no, that sounds interesting, and looking forward to trying that at some point. But not tonight, kidder. And on that disappointing note, we've been talking for quite a while. It's been good chat. Been a good night. Good episode. But all good things must come to an end, and we need to wrap this thing up with our plugs.
Are they 20% off?
Only at beerbluesandbs.com.
And that's where you can get great merch like this. The Triple B pint glass. beerbluesbs.com. That's our website. Right at the top, click on merch. You get 20% off, and you can get great things like that pint glass, or perhaps the sheet metal sign right there, beerbluesbs.com. It's like advertising that does it for itself. It's right there, beerbluesbs.com. Other than that, we'd love for you to like our page on Facebook and follow us on Instagram. We share a bunch of updates there, not only the shows, but also some photos behind the scenes and other commentary, if you will, because we engage with you, the viewer and or listener. beerbluesbs.com for the website, and click the Facebook button, or search Facebook or Instagram or YouTube to find the video version of this show. Also, a few awesome things to let you know about. We are everywhere that audio podcasts are available. You can find us all over the internet, and on your favorite audio service, search Beer, Blues, and BS. You'll find us right there. We'd love for you to subscribe, like the show, listen to the show, share the show. We would appreciate it. Search Beer, Blues, and BS on platforms such as Google Podcasts, like the Google Play Store, Apple Podcasts, including iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Amazon Podcasts, and Amazon Music, Stitcher, TuneIn, IMDb, and Player FM. That is just to name a few. We're all over. Search us, Beer, Blues, and BS. And please subscribe today. Otherwise, well, join us for the Killer Kidder Show on Spotify, and make sure you subscribe to that. Follow that playlist, because I'm always updating it. I'm always adding new music to it. It's a great playlist to listen to and rock out. Other than that, that's about it. I think we've had enough for this episode. Wouldn't you agree, Howard Blues?
Yep. Howard is tired and ready to call it a night.
Okay, well, it's a night, so we might as well, as they say, wrap it up. Keep your glass at least half full. There's free beer tomorrow, and we will catch you on down that snow-covered Tuscan Highway. For Howard Blues on the other end of this thing, I'm the man, the myth, legend, Mark Kidder. We'll see you again on the next edition of Beer, Blues, and BS.
You have been listening to a UA production of Beer, Blues, and BS. If you enjoyed the show, help others find out about it by rating the show or leaving a review at your podcast listening service of choice. Thanks for listening, and may your glass never be empty. UA Productions presents A Glimpse Behind the Curtain.
And, Lane, his last day today, so he's out the door.
That's a shame. That's a shame.
Well, I mean, he's getting to go to Minneapolis and be closer to, certain things like basketball games. And he said he's going to go to some hockey games, especially when the Wild play the Avalanche. And I said, all right, I'll send you an Avalanche hat so you can represent the proper team. And he started laughing.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm happy for him. Like, don't get me wrong. It's just,
Yeah.
I'm just kind of disappointed that, he never brought that last shipment of beer that he promised us.
We're lucky that he brought in his work computer before he left, because I've been bugging him for probably 6 months to bring it in, because he took it home because he's like, I'm going to work from home. And I'm like, no, you're not. Why not? I'm like, why would you work from home? Come here and work, because if you're here during your day, then you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, because you shouldn't have to work from home. He's like, okay, I'll bring it in. He brought it in on Tuesday.
Yeah, that sounds like Lane.
And he had to charge it.
So
just to start it up to make sure that he had the correct password for it. But bought him sushi today since it was his last day.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
Where was my invite, man?
You're busy doing your state's, your big time job stuff.
I was driving to Jamestown today, is what I was doing.
No.
Let's see. Do I have enough? Do I have enough? Oh, it's going to be a long reach. Yeah.
I bet that drive was just the best.
Oh, you know, we have a lot of fun